The Indiana Fever's victory in the 2025 Commissioner's Cup was nothing short of a statement. It wasn't about a trophy, it was about proving a point. A point to everyone who had counted them out, a point to all the naysayers who thought they couldn't win without Caitlin Clark on the floor. It was a team effort, a triumph that showed the power of unity and determination. The Fever came into the game with their backs against the wall, down by 13 points in the first quarter, and struggling to find their rhythm. Shots weren't falling. They were missing left and right, and the Lynx, with their stacked roster, were dominating early. The Fever looked rattled, their energy seemed off, and it was beginning to feel like a long, painful night ahead. But then something happened. The Fever flipped the script, and just like that, the momentum shifted. They went on an 18-0 run, holding the Lynx scoreless for more than 8 minutes. It was a stunning defensive turnaround that changed the course of the game. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Fever had secured the win, 74-59, taking home the Commissioner's Cup, shocking the entire basketball world. The crowd went wild, and the celebration was on. But what happened in the locker room just minutes after the game ended is what really got everyone talking. Caitlin Clark, despite not playing a single minute of the game, was the center of the celebration. The video footage that emerged from the locker room was unfiltered, raw, and full of energy. Caitlin was front and center, jumping around with Aaliyah Boston, laughing, shouting, "Proud of my girls," to her followers on TikTok Live, and getting everyone pumped up. She was fired up, and her enthusiasm was contagious. The real magic of Caitlin Clark is that even when she's not on the court, her leadership shines through. The entire locker room was buzzing with energy, and Caitlin's presence was felt in every corner of that room. The video quickly went viral, and fans, reporters, and rival players couldn't stop talking about it. It wasn't just about her celebrating. It was about her being the emotional leader of the team, even though she was sidelined due to injury. This moment wasn't scripted. It wasn't part of some PR campaign. It was raw, unfiltered, and real. Caitlin's energy was the driving force behind the Fever's success, and it became clear that she's not just the face of the franchise, she's the heartbeat of the entire team. The Fever's victory wasn't just about beating the Lynx. It was about flipping the narrative. ESPN had already written them off, prepped graphics that said Lynx dominate Fever, and assumed the Fever didn't stand a chance. They didn't even wait for the game to end before they counted Indiana out. But the Fever didn't read that script. Instead of folding under the pressure, they rewrote the story. Caitlin Clark's leadership was a big part of that. Even though she wasn't on the court, she was right there with her teammates, supporting them every step of the way. Her words during the celebration, "I know the rest of the league is sick," were a direct shot at all the doubters who had dismissed the Fever as a one-woman team. Caitlin knew the narrative was that without her, the Fever couldn't win. But in that moment, she wasn't just celebrating the win. She was celebrating her teammates, showing everyone that this victory was a team effort, not just a Caitlin Clark show. The Fever had shown that they could win without their star player, and that was the message that resonated with fans and critics alike. As the celebration continued, it became clear that Caitlin Clark wasn't just the team's star player. She was the emotional leader, the player who kept everyone grounded, motivated, and focused. Natasha Howard, for example, had a stellar performance, grabbing a double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Sophie Cunningham caught fire from beyond the arc, hitting 3 out of 5 three-pointers. Aaliyah Boston was the anchor of the team, grabbing 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 12 points in 33 minutes of play. These performances weren't just about individual glory, they were about the team coming together to achieve something bigger than themselves. Caitlin's leadership and her ability to bring out the best in her teammates were evident in every moment of the game. Even when she wasn't playing, Caitlin was the one keeping the energy high, making sure the team stayed focused and motivated. Her leadership wasn't just about what she did on the floor, it was about how she made everyone around her better, how she brought the team together, and how she led them to victory. The win was a massive statement, not just to the league, but to everyone who had doubted the Fever's ability to win without Caitlin Clark. The team had shown that they weren't just a one-player show, they were a unit, and together they could achieve greatness. Caitlin Clark's influence on the team cannot be overstated. She may not have played a single minute in the game, but her presence was felt in every second of the Fever's victory. Her leadership, her energy, and her unwavering belief in her teammates were the driving forces behind the win. The Fever proved that they could win without Caitlin Clark on the floor, but the truth is that they wouldn't have gotten there without her leadership and influence off the floor. She's not just the star player, she's the pulse of the entire team. In the end, the Indiana Fever's 2025 Commissioner's Cup victory wasn't just about the trophy they lifted. It was about the way they did it. They fought through adversity, they proved the doubters wrong, and they did it as a team. Caitlin Clark's leadership wasn't just something she showed on the court, it was something that radiated through every single member of the team. The Fever's victory wasn't just a win, it was a testament to what they could accomplish when they played together, supported each other, and never gave up. This win was just the beginning for the Fever, and with Caitlin Clark leading the charge, there's no telling how far they can go. The 2025 Commissioner's Cup will go down as a defining moment for this franchise, a moment when they show the world that they're more than just Caitlin Clark, they're a championship-caliber team. The Indiana Fever's triumph in the 2025 Commissioner's Cup wasn't just about the trophy or the final score, it was about defying expectations and making a statement to the entire league. Going into the game, the Lynx were the heavy favorites, and ESPN had already written the Fever off. The graphics were prepared, and the sports world was already assuming the Lynx would cruise to a win. But that assumption was quickly shattered, as the Fever proved everyone wrong. Down by 13 points at the start, they didn't just crawl back, they exploded onto the scene, taking control and never looking back. The defensive lockdown that stretched across 8 minutes, during which the Lynx couldn't buy a single point, was the turning point that turned the tide in favor of Indiana. It was a game where the Fever showed the world they were not just here to participate, they were here to compete, and they were here to win. And yet, the most electrifying moment came not on the court but in the locker room, moments after the victory. While Caitlin Clark's teammates were celebrating their hard-fought win, Caitlin, despite not playing a single minute in the game due to injury, was the one leading the charge, her energy off the charts. She was jumping, laughing, and screaming, firing up everyone around her as she filmed the entire scene for her social media. It was pure joy, and it was clear the emotional backbone of the Fever. As the team erupted with champagne, Caitlin was there, hyping up her teammates and making sure they shared the spotlight. She wasn't just part of the celebration, she was the heart of it. Her shout of "I know the rest of the league is sick" as she filmed the chaos unfolding around her wasn't just a joke, it was a proclamation. She knew exactly what had been said about the Fever, that they were nothing without her, that they wouldn't win without her on the floor. And yet, here they were, celebrating a championship without her in the game. It was a message to everyone who had ever doubted her, and to those who had written off the Fever. Indiana had arrived, and they were more than just Caitlin Clark. What makes Caitlin Clark so special isn't just her ability to score points or make the big plays. It's her leadership, her ability to elevate everyone around her, even when she's not on the court. That locker room celebration encapsulated everything that makes Caitlin Clark the true face of the Fever. She wasn't sulking on the sidelines because she wasn't playing, she was out there, making sure her team felt supported, motivated, and ready for the next challenge. And this wasn't a moment manufactured by PR teams or coaches, it was raw, unfiltered joy that came straight from Caitlin's heart. As the camera panned over the locker room, you could see Caitlin's pride in her teammates, in their hard work, and in the way they had come together to prove everyone wrong. She was the one holding the phone, capturing the magic of the moment, making sure that every second of it was remembered. She was more than a player, she was the spirit of the team.